if people knew how much it hurt at 30, you'd never start playing when you were 12.
Get ready, Crankworx Innsbruck is back for its 8th edition on June the 12th to 16th and heats up the Austrian bike summer once again in Mutters at Bike Park Innsbruck. The only European stop on the Crankworx World Tour, Crankworx Innsbruck brings the best of the best to the foot of the Tyrolean Alps to kick off the season's battles, including the king and queen of Crankworx and the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship.
Innsbruck mixes urban city vibes with big mountain adventure, making it a unique and exciting place to bring together the top names in MTB with the local community for Crankworx good times.
That's right, there's no downhill in Innsbruck, but the slopestyle season is firing on all cylinders, with David Godlike Skills Godzik taking the W in Cairns ahead of Emil Johansson and Tim Bringer. And we have Crankworx Slopestyle up and running at theracecompanion.com.
You can also follow at Crankworx Innsbruck on Instagram and stay on top of all the news, schedule and event updates. And of course, tickets are still available at crankworx.com too.
Is that crankworx.com?
Crankworx.com.
Brilliant.
We'll see you there.
See you there.
Here we are.
Davey. Go on, Davey.
Episode number 152.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
We've been doing it a while, and it's taken 152 episodes to have a rugby player on the
has
podcast,
indeed.
which is rad. So welcome to the show, Luke Wallace.
Thank you, lads. Pleasure to be here.
Hyped to have you here. Thanks for coming along.
No worries, mate. Yeah, good to see you.
Likewise.
Right.
So I guess we should start with some context. So you do ride bicycles as well.
I do indeed. Yeah,
You do indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I've come to know you over the years.
Okay. Yeah. So I've ridden bikes as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Started like any mountain biker does, just digging, mucking around in the woods.
Yeah.
Do you know Sam Shocksmith?
Yeah.
Phil Shocksmith? So me and Sam went to school together.
No way.
So
there you go.
yeah, so it was me and him riding, building around Reigate and Crawley,
Right.
getting across to Pork whenever we could on the train. And yeah, it kind of went from there. And now it's not so much mountain biking, but other kinds of cycling as well.
Yeah. Other riding.
I was scrolling through your Instagram actually, like trying to find some mountain bike.
Oh, it goes. Yeah, we have to go quite a long way
Quite
back.
far back.
Yeah.
So more road cycling.
Yeah,
days.
road cycling and on the track as well now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
You're on the track for a reason, aren't you? You've just finished a career. Can we say?
Yeah.
Are you retired?
Yeah.
You've retired.
It's not it's not quite official.
Breaking
Yeah,
rugby
probably
Is it not
news.
official? Oh no! Have I
It's
done
kind
it
of
right?
got.
Have I done it?
It's
bad?
a bit awkward now, mate. If I'm honest. So I left Harlequins in January,
Yep.
and the plan was to go play in America for just one season.
Oh, is that so? Yeah.
And it kind of all fell through like last minute. And by that time, I'd been doing nothing. I'd been doing nothing for 2-3 weeks. I loved it, like really loved it. So at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm probably done. But now I'm like, do I announce that I'm actually retired or just crack on? And when I get a new job, people just get the message. I think that's how I'm going to roll.
Oh, I'm sorry to do it on the podcast.
No, it's all right.
We sort
Just
of
spread the message slowly. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
We'll drip it out.
Drip that out. Drip feed.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I can imagine like actual rugby fans going like, as if they got a scoop. Like
Yeah,
these two
I know,
guys who
mate.
do a mountain bike podcast.
Idiots. Absolute idiots. Well, I sort of thought you should be congratulated on like a career doing something as wild as rugby. Like to me, it's
It's a weird one because so Harlequins bring a lot of people through their academy, so they all start young, just stay at the club the whole time.
yeah.
So I think I've got, I do have 197 Harlequins appearances, which is loads. But just so happens the last 5 years, there's been like another 3 blokes who've got even more. So it's a bit annoying in that way.
So otherwise you would be like one of the highest.
one of the highest. But actually, there's some guy on 350, so no one cares.
No way.
No one cares.
No,
No, it's
they do
been
care.
good.
They do care.
They do care.
So did you come through that academy then?
Yeah. I was quite late, to be honest. I
right.
joined at like 16.
Okay.
And then turned pro at 18, whereas especially now boys are starting at like 12, 13.
Are they really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And what, I know we're going to go all over the place a little bit, but like,
Yeah.
what got you interested in rugby, and when did you first show like signs of becoming a professional rugby player?
So like when I was young, just did everything, as a lot of people do. And then actually, so at 13, I got a scholarship to go to a good school where rugby was like everything. So that's kind of where it kind of took over more. And that's actually where mountain biking stopped a bit, because a week before I went over the bars, broke my collarbone, couldn't play rugby, and I was like, shit. Yeah. So that's kind of where that took a backseat a bit. And then carried playing all the kind of mainstream sports. And then at 16, I was like, nah, I'm good at rugby. If I want to get paid to play sport, then it'll have to be rugby. So it kind of, took over from there.
Nice. So what position do you play? Talk me through how you sort of worked your way into professional rugby. In terms of like, how did you know you were, how do you fit into a rugby team?
So I play flanker, which is a guy that just runs around and tackles pretty much.
Okay.
And it's probably it's a position where just like working hard can get you a long way as well.
Right.
So I was just always the fittest guy. Well, one of the fittest guys. Just worked hard on the pitch. Put myself in stupid situations.
So that happened from a young age.
Like,
so
yeah,
when you're
oh,
around
yeah,
16,
yeah.
you're like...
No, just stick my head over the ball like anywhere, get hit hard.
Wow.
And
is the
just keep
flanker
on
the
going.
person that often... Sorry, I don't know anything about rugby, I'm sorry. But like, is that the person that sometimes scores?
When I was younger, I scored a lot.
Okay.
But not so much as I got older. No, so... in rugby, so someone gets tackled and then there's a kind of little battle for the ball on the floor.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my job, to try and get that ball.
Right.
And then everyone else would just come and hit me as hard as they could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get the ball and then the rest of the team obviously falls back behind you, then you hand it off, and then off you go again on another drive.
That's the idea. So like they've got the ball, you try and grab it back, and then attacking off turnover is a good thing. Yeah. Because the defence isn't ready. So yeah.
And did you do other positions before landing on being a flanker?
No. I literally was. So as soon as there were flankers, so I think that's probably 12. Okay. I was a flanker, stayed there forever.
What do you mean? As soon as there were flankers, is it like an evolved position?
Yeah. So under 9s, you play like 9 aside. Under 11s, it's like 12 aside. And then under 13s, you suddenly get all 15 positions to choose from.
Okay, interesting.
But no, it's quite rare that just stick in one position.
Yeah.
But
is it?
It kind of fit. So yeah.
Yeah.
I just stayed.
Wow. And it just came naturally, that position.
Yeah, I think so.
I appreciate you're like sort of dulling it down
talking
for us.
Talking
just
to
like,
morons.
You can talk in more. You can make it. Like I'm interested to hear more about it, because I know I'm like not educated, but I'm willing. I want to learn.
Okay.
I think any type of
yeah.
like professional sport is fascinating.
Yeah,
especially how you get there and all that sort of stuff.
No, it just fitted quite well in terms of body shape.
Okay.
Kind of being bigger than the backs, but not quite so big as the big mutant forwards.
Right.
Kind of fit in the middle. Like a really varied skill set.
Okay.
So you can do a bit of everything.
So you've got to be
but not really a master or anything.
Super tough. All rounder.
Yeah, I think all rounder is probably the best version today. And then it's actually, as rugby's a weird sport as well, where the rules change like every year.
Really?
Yeah. So the governing body, it's a bit like the UCI, a bit weird. Governing body of rugby is also a bit weird. They want more viewers the whole time, and every year they go, I reckon if we adjusted this, then maybe some more people would watch.
Yeah.
So like as the rules around the breakdown have changed, then the sizes of flankers have changed as well. So like when I joined, a smaller guy was good, and then for a bit in the middle of my career, everyone just wanted massive guys, and I kind of didn't play as much. And then towards the end, I kind of came back into fashion again, which is a bit weird.
I remember seeing a photo, this is a while ago, where they compared like a 1980s rugby team to a 2000 and
you couldn't do it.
So different.
Yeah.
It's like astronomically different. The dudes are huge. Like before, they weren't like, they were probably big for back then. I don't know, but they didn't look like abnormal like they do now.
I think when when it turned pro, and I don't even know when it turned, probably mid 1990s maybe.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to look like an idiot. But, yeah, I think just everything changed then, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's pretty shocking going around where you train, Surrey Sports Park.
Is that how you guys? So how do you guys meet?
I think
It was in Surrey Sports Park.
Yeah.
Okay, which is what?
It's like just down the road in Guildford where we watched my brother play.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but if you just hang out there in the day and you just go to the cafe and these boys turn up, it's pretty like, I mean, you don't see many humans that size, let alone like humans in like good shape.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of us as well. Like
Yeah.
when the whole team's together, there's like 55, 60 blokes.
Yeah.
And so like that coffee shop gets taken over. It's bad. I feel bad for some of the like just normal punters having a coffee in there, and we just come in loud and just take over the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, I find it fascinating, like all of the training and stuff. Okay, so I watched that Drive to Survive thing on the Six Nations.
The rugby, version,
Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Is it Boombox Media? Something?
I think it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But so I watched that, and the bits that got me the most were the weights that some of these superhuman athletes were lifting, and I could not believe it. Like I thought I knew what people lifted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
There are some strong guys for sure.
yeah.
But actually, like what I've discovered in the last 3 months with being retired, like I'm still lifting a lot, is how much playing rugby holds you back. Like being smashed up every weekend means you're never building on stuff. Whereas like, I think I put 15 kilograms on my squat in the last 3 months just from being able to train properly, which is mad as well.
Because you can recover? Or?
Yeah, just recovering better. You're not always taking a step backwards every weekend.
Yeah.
So that's been quite nice actually, being able to like retire but also start getting better at stuff has been quite cool.
Like I say, I guess in theory these guys should be like bodybuilders, but I guess in a way it does hold you back if you get too big. So there's like a fine balance of like staying strong and flexible and agile.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I remember my S&C coach was actually kind of always stronger than us.
Yeah.
And he'd say, but you're so much more genetically gifted, but I can train. And just the weights side is just such a small part for you.
Yeah.
Like we'd be doing 2 weight sessions a week, and relying on a big pre-season block kind of like to build up for the whole season, and then kind of gradually getting worse throughout the whole year.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like obviously rugby is the focus.
Yeah.
Like it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened when you start getting on the path at 16?
Yeah.
What changed? What did it look like then?
So up until that point, I was just playing at school.
Yeah.
And as I said, like some of the guys had been in the Quins Academy system since 13, 14. So I took it really, really seriously for like a year and a half until they gave me that pro contract. I knew I had to go to everything. I was a loser at 17, honestly. Like play every weekend was like playing rugby Saturday, Sundays, getting out there as much as possible, training in the week, like in the evenings. Never went to parties. Absolute loser. But it paid off for the end, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So there were like scrimmages on the weekends, were there?
Yeah. So school matches on the Saturdays, club matches on the Sundays.
Oh, mate, meeting you at school would suck, eh? Future Harlequin professional rugby player, and you're just like, here he is.
I don't know. There were a lot of us, to be fair.
Were there? Yeah.
Dotted around. Yeah.
Right.
Was
Harlequins the local club? Or not?
Yeah. So they kind of cover Surrey, Sussex.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the country kind of gets split up, and depending where you live, you get sent to like the various academies.
Right. Okay.
So everyone knows each other from like kind of the circuits.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure if like you'd sign a pro contract. I guess you could sign a pro contract, but then go somewhere else. But
yeah, eventually. It's not like. I guess NFL's the obvious one, where you can go to college anywhere, then you just get pulled out of a hat, drafted, and get sent across the country.
Whereas this is not more like a path through to become on that team.
Yeah, kind of. The local club gets the first option on you.
Yeah.
When you turn 18 or whatever it is.
And is it like football where the club shows an interest and then they begin almost like paying you from quite a young age to keep you on those books?
I think it's getting more common.
Yeah.
But no, not really.
Okay.
I think in my year, some people started getting paid at 17 just to like keep them happy. But yeah, I don't know if that's come down.
Got like a friend of the family, I guess, almost, and his son is really good at football, and Leeds have signed him. He's like 12 or something, and already he's getting like a couple of £1,000 a month, and like they pay for dad to have a new car and like all this sort of stuff just to keep him, keep him on the books and keep
one of the Quins coaches, his son is signed, I think it was like Sutton or something, so not even like a Premier team, but like he's only like 9 or something, so I'm not sure.
Isn't it?
Yeah, crazy.
That isn't a thing then as much in rugby.
Oh no,
is it not? No. No,
the money is not there and that kind of thing. I think where they kind of do help is like pretty much by 16, 17, 18, every rugby player is going to public school,
right?
Posh, like
the team will put you in.
Yeah, like they'll sort out scholarships. So,
wow.
In some ways, it's nice. You get a good education, but also it just ruins the state school rugby as well. So it's a bit of a swings and roundabouts.
What did you do?
So I got a scholarship and went to a posh school.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though.
No, yeah, it's cool.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Loved
Parents
it.
are stoked. Like,
Loved it. They got me out their hair for a bit. Went to boarding school, but no, yeah.
But like you say, so that in turn ruins the.
Yeah. But it did mean that the public school system, school circuit is really competitive. Like that's where the best rugby is played.
Right.
Which has its positives and negatives, like I said.
Okay. Yeah.
So what age did you sign the pro contract?
18. Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
Did it shift? Was there like a welcome to the league moment? Did it shift when you sort of started mixing with? Mutants.
We used to be so scared of them.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I think it's changed quite a bit over the last. I've been involved for 15 years, and I don't think we're this mean anymore. But yeah, like you'd be scared to go in the change room. Like you'd like rush in before anyone else got there and get changed and get out before the first team got there.
Really?
Like,
yeah.
Didn't look at anyone, just like kind of huddled in the corners.
It's interesting from the outside. It seems quite a gentlemanly sport. Like rugby to me does. It seems like everyone's very like honourable. Like you nail each other in the face with the ball, and then the next moment you're shaking hands. And
I think even down to how the fans watch it too, right? It's mixed stadium.
Mixed stadium. Everyone gets involved.
Yeah. It's well cool.
Like tend to be pretty respectful towards the referees and stuff, which is nice.
Yeah, that's it.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like a violent sport, but everyone's very chilled off it.
But between the first and second team, it's not the case. There's some
yeah, they make you earn your spot, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick. So
initiation.
There weren't really many of them, to be fair.
Okay.
There was just got to sing a song, drink a beer, nothing too crazy. No.
But there was the moment where you start like them playing against like I guess it's a big jump, isn't it?
Yeah, I had so my first 2 years, so when I was 19, 20, I think I played 3 games, like kind of small games off the bench, and then the start of my third year, kind of like 4 people ahead of me got injured straight. Like I think first game of the season, 4 people went down. Suddenly second game of the season, I was called up, didn't have a clue what I was doing. But then got man of the match first 2 games I played. I played well, but I think it's also just that unknown young guy who suddenly is playing well. They're like, so you kind of get it. And then so that kind of changed everything from there. And then kind of played like 20 games that year. So it was a big change from going nothing to suddenly being in.
Yeah.
What is that jump like to go from playing pre-18 or not pre-pro? That's not even a thing, is it? Like not pro to then playing pro. What's like the game like?
It was just quicker.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a weird way, like some of the lower level games are actually really physical because sometimes there's some really big guys who just maybe aren't skillful or aren't fit enough to play first team. Yeah. But they're still massive blokes who can hit really hard.
Yeah.
So it's mainly just the speed of the game, the decision making.
Yeah.
I just kind of took to it pretty well.
And like when you were coming through the ranks, did you play in front of like stadiums of people.
Yeah, so Harlequins have they have a big game, they call it, at Christmas, and they have another one in the summer now. So like the normal stadium's just under 20,000, and then we play at the big Twickenham twice a year, and so that's something like 80,000.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It changes everything. Like you can't hear anything, so like communication becomes really hard. Like you can't hear the calls. You've got to kind of rely on like your training.
Yeah.
And kind of how well you know your teammates and kind of react to what they're doing rather than being able to call everything, which is kind of a big difference. Yeah.
80,000 people.
It's
That's so sick.
it's very different, I guess. I don't know, you see Fort Williams. I don't know how many people come to Fort William at the bottom.
I don't know. It's a big atmosphere.
It's a big
though,
atmosphere,
isn't it?
yeah.
But that's still, like contained.
Yeah, the stadium.
Yeah, and actually like some of the best stadiums I've played with in France, because they're slightly smaller than Twickenham, they're probably like 30, 40,000.
Yeah.
But everyone is there to go mad.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. There's like brass bands in the stands. And yeah, they just love rugby down there. Whereas there's a bit in England where people could go for like a nice day out. Like they're there to watch the rugby. It's a bit more like football fans here probably. Like they're more, real passionate, get in your face. Like here, there's no need for police escorts in London. But like in Toulouse, like it's like people lining the streets, police escort through it all. Like they're all going crazy.
Wow, yeah.
Flares going off. Yeah, it's cool.
So if you have success, I just can't imagine what it feels like to have success in front of 80,000 people. So if you like win a game and you're out on the field, 80,000 people screaming must be quite a lot.
No, yeah, it's really cool. And actually, it's something that. So you probably don't know. So the Harlequin Stadium is one side of the road, and the big national stadium's just like literally you can see it. It's right across the road. So for those times we were in the Premiership final, like we'd meet in our stadium and walk across the bridge, across the road, and they'd just be lined the whole way, just like fans either side, like guard of honour, like the whole way across. And then when we won, we've been there twice, we won twice, and then it's the same on the way back, just people going mad, which is really, really cool.
That must be a life highlight, that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So sick.
Yeah. It's so sick. The first time we won, everyone was like trying to squeeze back into like our smaller stadium, and it was just going mad in there. And we've got a guy called Nick Easter who played for England back then, and he was like starting songs in the crowd, like, and everyone was singing it. Yeah, it was really cool. Really cool.
Whoa.
It's got to be a hard thing to beat, like, especially you're with your team as well. My brother talks about it a bit, like, it's quite a hard thing, like the level of adrenaline and like camaraderie. You can't really get it. You could win a World Cup, but it's actually not the same when you've got like a whole crew of people. I
think it's not the same. And also like, so you've got 50 guys and everyone's been pulling for the same goal all year.
Yeah.
You've had like the good times, bad times. You've been out on team socials, like really pulls you together. And then like I've won finals, I've lost finals, but it's always a great feeling to be in that situation.
Yeah, the team sport thing is really cool. I've never really done it that much either. Like I played ice hockey a little bit, and I loved it because it's just that team atmosphere is so infectious. It's so sick. Just being in a changing room, like locker room banter. I can't even imagine what it's like to do that every week. I mean, it's so cool.
It's hard to replace for sure.
Yeah.
I kind of guess. So I'm doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu now, and it's kind of similar. Like it's individual, but the club really like pulls around you. So I went to my first competition like a month ago, and just everyone kind of pulled together, which is cool. Kind of does. I think a lot of rugby players do struggle when they leave that environment because they suddenly lose all that social aspect. So it's been quite nice to kind of replace it with something.
Yeah, I bet. And you get to strangle my brother, which is something I haven't been able to do since he surpassed me in height and weight. Maybe
someday I might be able to. He's a bit good at the moment, unfortunately.
Oh, don't say that.
Sorry, mate.
Wicked. So right now you're playing pro. What does it look like? Your week? You've started playing. I can't imagine being 18 playing professional rugby.
So the first thing you go into is pre-season, which was crazy. So literally finished my A-levels on like probably a Thursday, had the weekend off to celebrate, and then I was in on the Monday at full-time professional rugby.
Really?
Because their season starts mid-June.
Yeah.
Like the pre-season starts mid-June, kind of when exams finish. And that's when my contract started. So they're like, you don't get a holiday, you're in. So yeah, kind of cracked in, and that was kind of like 5 days straight of fitness and weights, just hard work, which was a big change.
Boot camp. Basically is what we're going into.
And yeah.
Okay.
So that's only strength and that's only fitness. That's
Yeah,
only
for like
physical conditioning.
Back then it was, you did like a month of just physical conditioning.
Yeah.
And it'd be like working hard at the club, getting home, falling asleep straight away. Waking up, having food, falling asleep again. Now it's a bit more fun. They do start rugby a bit earlier now. But then in season, like it varies a lot depending on what day the games is, because it can swap between Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. But if you're working like Saturday to Saturday, it's like Monday you come in for a bit of weights, all the meetings get done then.
What's a meeting? Is that
tactics, watching the video from the last week, seeing what you did wrong, kind of problem solving, that kind of stuff.
Do you run plays? So you have set plays
that
are individual to each club, that each coach, each...
Yeah. But in a weird way, a lot of it stems from what England are doing as well at the time. So there'll be a whole chunk will be your own team stuff.
Yeah.
And then you'll be playing someone else and they'll be calling the same thing. And it's because it's an England call that someone's just brought back and just not changed anything. So that's kind of weird.
How would that happen? Is it because it's the same coaches?
No, so like the players will all go off to England camp. Right. They'll run something new and then they'll all come back, go, that was a good idea.
Okay.
And then go, we should do that. But like not change what it's called, so everyone knows.
Okay.
Everyone knows what it is. So there's actually quite a lot of stuff like that.
Okay. And you can see that, obviously, stupid question, but like on the field, like your team is like, okay, we think we can figure out what that is.
Yeah. And actually it's weird because obviously there's a lot of guys changing clubs the whole time as well.
Yeah.
And there's kind of like an unwritten rule that if you change mid-season, you kind of don't spread anything or anything like that. But I remember I went to Leicester and then next year I was playing against Quins and they all had the same calls. So I was kind of like trying to tell the guys next to me what was going on. And like in the week before, like Steve Borthwick, our coach at Leicester, was like, so is there anything we should practice? anything I should know? So I was like, yeah, write all that down to give that to him, see what we can do.
That's funny. I never played a team sport to a level where you had set plays. I never did you ever do it with
a little bit with hockey, but it was like, it's only rec hockey.
I mean,
you can write whatever you want on the board, but no one could do it anyway.
To be fair, in rugby there's not loads, nothing compared to like American football and anything like that, which is like, because that is just set plays, whereas rugby quite often the first phase of each, so say there's a line out of scrum, the first phase will be prescribed, or the first two phases, and after that you kind of just fall back into standard shape and kind of play on the hoof a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I even got to the point where you say standard shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you wouldn't know. Yeah.
No, it's like, but at what point did you, like, in order to be a professional rugby player, at what point do you have to like start thinking about the game in a more adult manner? Like,
I don't know. It kind of just grows.
Yeah.
And people are also a lot more professional now than they were back then. I guess technology's changed. So now, like, I get home, I did get home, I open up my phone, training would all be there on video, you could watch it through, like, it'd all be clipped up, and so it'd be, like, attacking shape, defensive shape. And so there's, like, 10 analysts at Quins, so you get home, it's all done. Like, you don't have to, like, watch training and go through it all, it'll just all be there.
10 people, full-time.
Maybe that's a bit.
No,
eight.
I mean, that's...
Low, yeah.
Yeah, that's unreal, that's so
really
cool.
Yeah.
Because I coach down at Worthing as well, so that's level 4, so yeah, a few leagues below, and I have to do all that myself. It takes forever. So actually, yeah, when I was playing and it was all there for me, it was ideal.
Wow. Again, my friend has just started playing American football. Like again, only like super low level, I guess. Probably high level in the UK, but low level. And they've got an app, and he's like, yeah, we just log into the app, everything's there. What drill we're going to be doing, what this, what that, all the stuff from the last game. It's mad.
It's a weird thought, isn't it?
Yeah, but I guess in in our world with mountain biking, that's GoPro footage. It's
Yeah, I suppose.
it's
Yeah.
like what Milway was talking about, analysing sections and stuff like that, isn't it? It's
I tell you
sort of
what,
similar.
I've never taken anything seriously enough. I've never taken anything like genuinely. I'm like I analyse biking the whole time I watch people do it, but I've never had to. So
Yeah.
it's like it's always been playing for me. Every sport I've done has been I'm literally playing around.
Yeah.
Like it still remains. That
I'm
to
kind of
this
a
day.
bit like that. Like, so with all that video analysis stuff, if I was always bad at watching whole games and going through them with a tooth comb and going through everything. If I knew that I'd made an error or like I could have done something differently, then I'd go back and watch that specific bit.
Yeah.
But probably never put in the effort that some of the guys do now. Like especially the decision makers, so like the fly halves, scrum halves. That's all they do. Just like they'll literally get in from training and go watch it straight away, watch the whole thing. Which is kind of their job at the end of the day, and mine was more just to run around and hit stuff. But yeah, I think it is changing.
So someone's deciding what you're hitting. You must have hit some walls in your time.
Yeah.
Are there like matchups that you would fear?
Yeah, so I was always quite a big one for not running into walls. Obviously, there's times where you had to, but I always like to kind of position myself a bit further out so I could use footwork and a bit of acceleration to run into softer shoulders.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the guys who run up and down in the middle just run into walls all day. And yeah, I was always a bit too small for that, unfortunately.
Man, it's rough, isn't it? That's your job.
Yeah.
It's how was it like after a game? Generally.
We'll find out about after the game.
Yeah, can
after
we?
the break.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
lovely.
really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really good.
Thank you.
Companionship. Are you looking to take ownership of your health? Introducing AG1, a powerful daily nutrition supplement designed by scientists to support your body's needs. AG1 is a comprehensive and convenient blend of over 70 high-quality ingredients packed with vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced nutrients.
With just one scoop each morning mixed with water, AG1 helps to support your brain, heart, energy, and immune system. It's a powerfully simple way to start your day right. While we have a degree of individuality, science tells us that the human body is interconnected, which is why AG1 contains over 70 ingredients to support your baseline nutrition. Drink AG1 is the best way to feel reassured that you're supporting your body with a broad range of nutrients it needs. AG1 isn't just another supplement, it's a morning ritual, a timely habit that fits seamlessly into your routine. And it does fit into my routine,
it does, yeah.
because I just do it in the morning before anything. Apparently, you're meant to have it on an empty stomach, which I actually quite like. I take it with me in my little AG1 shaker and just go walk the dog.
I do it empty stomach every
Yeah.
time, actually.
Yeah.
Because it said on the instructions, and I did what was on the instructions.
Like,
You
that's
know what I mean?
the sort of people we are.
Davey, what are the benefits?
Well, Ollie, they speak for themselves. From sustained energy throughout the day to immune support and stress management, AG1 has you covered. Plus, AG1 is NSF certified for sport, ensuring the highest quality ingredients and manufacturing standards. Ready to take the next step in your wellness journey? Visit drinkag1.com/ridecompanion today for a special offer. We are going to give you free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your next purchase.
So that's drinkag1.com/the ride companion.
That's right, mate. Yeah.
Nice.
drinkag1.com/ride companion.
Take ownership of your health with AG1. Check it out now.
Check it out now.
Back in.
We're back in. What a
We're
break.
back in. That was
Good
really
break.
good break.
Good ad, that one.
Really good ad, yeah.
Really good break.
I'm buying one.
See, I only know what it feels like the day after a crash, and it feels like you've been in a cement mixer. But I don't think that's anything compared to a tough game.
Tough day on
I
the
think,
pitch.
I don't know, it's different. It is different. I've obviously crashed as well.
Yeah, you've got both. Yeah,
Got
dude.
both. I think rugby's just more all over. Like just
Is it?
everything hurts. Yeah.
Does
Actually,
it
as you
easier?
get
Like, has it got
harder,
easier?
harder,
Oh,
harder,
okay, it
harder.
gets harder.
I often say, like, if people knew how much it hurt at 30, you'd never start playing when you were 12. Because it just gets a bit worse every year.
Really?
Like, yeah, as you get older, as people get bigger, like contact obviously gets harder.
Yeah.
And every year it starts hurting a little bit more. It takes longer to recover. Yeah, and I think if people realised how bad it was at the end, they'd never start. I'm really selling this, aren't I? I hope
Mate,
I hope
great choice by the sound of it.
yeah,
Running
I hope
into
no
walls.
under nines are watching this. Like, and I don't know, like, so in a weird way, Sundays were where you expect to be sore.
Yeah.
They kind of were sore, but it was Mondays when you had to come in and start doing stuff. It was like, wow, I'm still really struggling here. And then it kind of, you go through the week and you just start to feel good again. And then it's time to play another game. It's just like a continuous cycle. It's kind of weird in a way. I think that like 10 days would be good. If it was feasible to get people to the ground on Wednesdays and like still have a good crowd, good atmosphere on a Wednesday. If you could go weekend Wednesday, that would be ideal.
Oh, like 10-day recovery.
You'd actually feel good again, probably.
I think the quality of the game would be better because people would be more rested and.
Yeah, I think so. Like, there's people. Yeah, most rugby players, once the season starts, you're never fully fit again.
Yeah.
Unless you actually get injured, because then you get rehab time and then you get brought back slowly.
Right.
Whereas if you're playing, you're never back to 100%. There's always something. And actually, like, I've had bad injuries in the past as well, but the times I struggled, like, mentally and physically was the smaller ones.
What's an example of that?
Like an AC strain, like grade 2 AC, shoulder. You go no contact all week. You get to a game, you strap it up, you pad it up, but you know that the first tackle, you're going to be in agony again. And you're getting like painkiller injections during the week, steroid injections, not bad steroids, good steroids.
Yeah. Friendly ones.
friendly ones. Trying to get that swelling down, and you know that actually in a week's time it's probably going to be a bit worse.
Yeah.
So like it's those ones that just keep on going.
Right.
So I had that with my shoulder. Had a bad hip for a long time. It's weird. Yeah. So when I was younger, so imagine your hip socket's here and your hip and your femur's here, and they're meant to be round. So mine actually genetically has a little bump on it.
Okay.
So like it always grinds. So when I was younger, like really, really sore, like pretty much constantly. And then I dislocated it, which was agony at the time, was out for ages.
Oh.
But then after that, I don't know why, it just kind of fixed itself.
Did it really? Yeah.
Yeah. So second half of my career, my hip was fine, whereas first half it was agony. Really weird.
It took the dislocation.
They think, they're not really sure, but they think it might have been that kind of bump that kind of levered it out of the.
Yeah.
And then when I had an operation to kind of put it all back together,
So it was stuck out.
they got it back in, but they had to go clean it out and stuff.
I was imagining it like out the side, like a sidecar.
It was weird. It was in pre-season, so I'd had like a really good pre-season. It was the last pre-season game just before it all kicked off, and I just got hit. I kind of felt a pop. My like leg was kind of like stuck up here somewhere, and I knew it had happened. I knew exactly what it was straight away. I don't know if you've had that when you've crashed, when you know exactly what's happened. And my friend Lewis was like, mate, get up, you need to get back in the line. And I was like, mate, my hip's desiccated, get a physio. Just like stuck my hand in the air, just lying on my back. And they just pumped me full of morphine, gave me gas and air, and literally just yanked it back in. And I'm so glad they did, because later on they were like, we would have had one chance, and if it wasn't going to go, you're just going in the ambulance. And like I couldn't imagine
So it would have been out
how
then.
bad it would have been if they didn't get it back in there.
How hard is like the pre-season and the midweek training? Like how hard do you go? Is it
so it tends to be like really hard day Tuesday, Wednesday
as in like
off.
physically hard, as in
you
are hitting each other? That's what I mean as well. Like, do you replicate the game?
Yeah. So as my career's gone on, contacts come down and down and down in training sessions.
Right.
We wear like mouth guards with accelerate. Yeah.
I know the thing.
The word.
Mean.
Yeah.
We had Millway on. That's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
That
Accelerometers,
Yeah.
That measure head impacts and stuff. So like they can kind of get a guide on where your load is for that week. If you've had a big game, then you won't do any contact the next week, and they keep a lot more of an eye on it now. Basically, because they're worried about concussions and the impact of like all those head knocks over the years.
You worried about concussions?
Yeah, you'd be stupid not to. I think I haven't had many, to be fair. There was a period like kind of when I was 23, 24 when I got a bunch back to back, but then been pretty good since then. But now, like when you read stuff, it is scary, isn't it?
They talk about it a lot, obviously, with the NFL, don't they? Of like CTE and stuff like that. Is it as prevalent? Big word.
Prevalent, yeah, it is.
Wow.
Right then.
One for David.
Make sure you go close on that one. Is it as prevalent in rugby?
I don't know. There are instances of it now.
Is there?
Yeah. So I think it's kind of going through the court process now. There's a bunch of ex-players who have kind of come together and gone, you should have protected us better.
Oh, really?
Kind of like it happened in the NFL. I don't think it will be on as big a scale. Because I think the big thing over there was loads of evidence that the NFL knew and kind of hid it. Whereas I don't think that is the case in rugby. It was that they just didn't know.
Okay.
You'd hope anyway.
I don't know that much about it, but from what I understood, it was like the helmets almost made it worse because you felt protected, and so you would routinely have those impacts. But like the more they look into it, they're like apparently jet skiing is super bad for it.
Yeah,
like jet
that
skiing
explains a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I'm super worried about concussions. I had to do a video for Focus, and they scanned my brain, and I watched the video, and I wasn't bothered by the video. I was just terrified that afterwards they were going to pull me to one side, and I actually ended up just asking the bloke because I've had quite a few, and I had a few back to back, like probably around the same age. Funnily enough, which is like you're doing a much cooler sport. I'm literally
I don't know about that.
Coming off doing 360s and stuff in the woods.
You got 80,000 people watching it.
Exactly. I got like 3 blokes that smell like knee pads, and you're in front of 80,000 people getting concussed.
I don't know, but then if you're by yourself, you're probably not going to carry on riding after that.
Yeah, okay.
You'll take yourself home, but in front of 80,000 people in a big game, I think now it's a lot better. But when I was younger and the education wasn't there, you just kind of carry on.
Okay.
Which is where the real danger comes in, I think, because like the second impact syndrome, stuff like that.
So that's when you had back-to-back ones, when you around that time or whatever.
Yeah, probably came back a bit earlier.
Yeah.
It was taking less and less to kind of cause them.
I mean, it's mad how little it was brought up.
I mean, action sports back in the day, probably around this sort of time, it was like, oh, he's hit his head, he's back for his second run. And really
like
now
being
it'd be like, oh my
praising
God.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't
praised.
even know. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's kind of funny. You're like, your mate would hit his head, forget everything. you could take the piss of him. And then, obviously it's causing damage long term. But
yeah, I'd throw up the next day and be oh, it definitely was. Because like, if you throw up the next day, apparently, that was when I was younger, that was like...
Yeah, definitely had a few of those. You'd ask your mum to make sure I'm awake, like make sure I'm not dead in my sleep.
Yeah.
Like, come give me a nudge.
Yeah, don't go to sleep. Like, it's
so
crazy.
Back, yeah.
But yeah, so I guess it's a
there's
positive.
More protection now.
Oh, way more protection. Yeah. There's stuff like, if there's a suspected head injury, you get taken off. We've got like a baseline test, and then they kind of test you again in the game. You've got 10 minutes to kind of do that, and then they make a decision to get you back on or keep you off.
Okay.
And there's an independent doctor watching all the video, like in a couple of minutes behind, looking for stuff constantly.
Really?
And so if they see something, then they can just pull you off straight away.
Right. Wow.
So yeah, so much more protection than there used to be.
Yeah.
And also like the education is for the players, but also for the coaches. So they don't press you to stay on like they used to be that pressure, you know.
Yeah. And that again, it just comes with education, doesn't it? It just comes through. And I guess as the sport grows, it's going to get better because there's people that would be a bit more like, just stay on, you'll be all right. Like they filter out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Like they can't. Those old school guys kind of drift out the top.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a lot safer. And as I said, they changed the rules a lot, so they're bringing the tackle height down now. So it used to be, it's always been like above above shoulder height, but
Okay.
if you kind of chucked a shoulder into the head, it wasn't that bad. Whereas now, like any heading impact is a red card, you're off.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's kind of trying to protect you more and more.
Yeah.
And then in the lower leagues, it's the tackle height's like down at sternum height now.
Which means you have to be below that.
Below that, which is actually a nightmare for.
Knee injuries?
I think it's for knee injuries. Yeah. I think it's been good for the kids who have kind of learned it at the time, but so the guys I coach, kind of, a lot of them are kind of mid-30s,
Right.
who can't bend down that low anyway, and then now being told they have to tackle down that low. There's not a chance. But
Okay.
yeah, there's been a lot of red cards in my league this year. Yeah,
I can't get down that low. I can just tackle that
no,
low.
yeah, but I don't know. They'll get it. It'll take a few years, but they'll get it.
Yeah. How interesting.
What does training look like for your position? Does it vary between positions?
Yeah, yes and no. As I said, there's a lot of guys in the squad and probably 3 or 4 S&C coaches, so they do try and keep you all on the similar programs.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
But then a lot is adjusted for injuries. Like some people squat, some people deadlift, some people box squat, depending on what you can do. People have different fitness goals. So like scrum halves, for instance, do just have to be very fit, just keep on running the whole time. Whereas the back row, like me, has to be more contact fit. So we do a lot of kind of stuff around that. In terms of just tackling repeatedly and then having to run and then tackle. So yeah, there are different goals, but they try and keep us as similar as possible. So
Yeah.
I think to make it easier for them.
And that is just all round fuck strong. Is that what is the?
Yeah,
you
I don't
what
know.
mean?
Yeah,
Within strength and conditioning, I feel like there's so many
there are.
variables. Like,
Yeah. So we'll do the big lifts like squat, bench. Those are the big ones. Chins. There's a lot of stuff around neck strength is a big one for the tackling, and also, just to protect your head as much as possible.
Yeah, I guess durability is quite
durability
important.
is
Like
key.
a lot of the training is for that, is it?
Yeah. And then the backs will do a lot of sprint work, a lot of power stuff. The forwards is more just get big and strong. But as you said, you don't want to get too big because then you can't run. So it's kind of a tricky balance to keep.
So let's say you're in the gym, you're doing a normal S&C workout for your job as a flanker. What are the lifts and what's involved? How long do you work out for?
So it would only be ever for an hour. And on Tuesdays we do our leg day normally. So it would be some explosive stuff. So maybe some weighted squat jumps or some cleans, a heavy squat, heavy RDL, and then some accessories. So maybe like split squats, Bulgarian split squats, lunges, that kind of stuff. Some more hamstring work, calf work, and then core, and that would kind of be it.
Right. Okay.
And then kind of similar pattern on the upper body days, like a big heavy lift, and then just accessory stuff around that.
Right. Okay.
A lot of the upper body stuff is actually grip strength's a big one for just for grabbing hold of people, tackling, and then just keeping your shoulders and neck healthy.
Right. Okay. Neck exercises are hard. What's a good neck exercise?
You just need cables and I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What? And just
hold it, tuck your chin, hold it. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Maybe get some twists in there.
Okay. All right.
Just get a big weight.
Yeah.
Get a harness, hang it on your neck, and hold it for as long as possible.
And that works.
That works. That'll do.
That's it. Rugby's
No,
next.
don't do that. Don't do that.
Imagine
Just a
us
20
two
plate.
skinny necks in the gym.
Yeah. Exactly.
Luke said.
So after a game,
Yeah.
you get off the pitch, covered in mud, cuts, bruises, all that. What's recovery look like?
Again, it changed a lot. So
Are we ice bathing? Oh.
it depends how you feel, doesn't it? How cold it's been outside as well. That's a big one.
True. Yeah. You're a winter sport, isn't it?
Winter sport, yeah. I don't know. I think ice is helpful if there's like specific bits where you've been hit hard.
Right.
Like, then I'd rather just ice that bit rather than jump an ice bath.
Yeah.
You can jump an ice bath the next day in the morning or something, but yeah. And then a lot of recovery as well depends on how drunk you get afterwards as well. Let's be fair. If you
It's a big game.
That beer jacket
big
on
game,
covers up the
big game, big night out. It's going to take a bit longer to recover. Yeah, I'm a big advocate of just sleeping. If I'm honest.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Just recovery.
Recovery. Yeah, sleep, nutrition.
Yeah.
Get moving again, which is actually where being into cycling was great. Like just jump on the bike and spin for an hour or something, just kind of get the blood moving again. Yeah. Standard stuff.
Yeah, what's nutrition look like for you? Have you always been a big dude? Or did you
No, so I had to work hard to put weight on, especially when I was younger.
Yeah.
I think my first year at Quins, I think I went from like 91 kilograms to 105 in like 8 months or something.
Really?
It wasn't good weight either. They were like, you have to be 105 by next summer. I was like, okay, fine. Let's eat some cake. So yeah, it wasn't good weight, but yeah, had to work really hard to put it on. But then yeah, over the years, like people ask like, oh, do you have to be really careful? I'm like, no, just getting good habits.
Right.
You probably feel, I don't know if you feel the same, but it's like as you get older, you just get used to it. Like you eat well.
Yeah. Your baseline is just good anyway. Like you're never just gonna like say just eat trash.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
gonna be a relatively good baseline.
It feels important. It's like sustainable as well, doesn't it? Like I think the same goes for like working out. If you're doing a whole season, I imagine you can't.
Oh yeah, you can't be no carbs all year or anything crazy like that. Yeah, just good food in goodish quantities. I mean, we also get fed 3 times a day at training, so like that made life easier as well.
What's it like? So is there much pressure like that when you're coming up, like to meet certain weight targets or like strength goals? Is it like that? I mean, I cannot. When I walk around that cafe in Surrey Sports Pod, I cannot comprehend how some of these humans have ended up that fucking big. You know what I mean? Like
I do know what you mean.
Like I feel like you are a big dude, a big strong guy. We all know. Some of your teammates,
they dwarf me.
Mate,
like there's a guy. He's not there anymore. There's a South African we had called Wilco Lowe, whose one quad was probably the size of both of mine. Just like bang, like
really,
he's huge. I think he'd grown up on a farm in South Africa, just like wrestling cows, whatever he did, and then eating the cows, and then
lifted it.
He was huge,
really?
Like massive, and so strong as well. But coming back to your question, I think the rugby always tells in the end. Like you have to be big enough and strong enough and quick enough to play the rugby. Yeah. But like as long as you get it done on the pitch, they're not gonna. I always think with any of this stuff, it can be used as an excuse to get rid of you. Yeah. But they'd have to want to get rid of you anyway. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does make sense. I think that about contracts, quite frankly.
Oh yeah,
contracts are just like a way out, aren't they? So like as long as you do the work.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Like so, in rugby, there's something vague in the contract about like not jeopardising your ability to play rugby. Okay. So skiing's the big one that they're like you can't ski, and people always go, well, surely you can't mountain bike or surf then. I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, if I crash, are they really going to get rid of me? I don't think so. So yeah, just went for it.
Because you've been mountain biking throughout your career, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, loads, especially when I pretty much stopped. I moved to Leicester for a few years and it's very flat up there.
Yeah, you ain't doing no biking.
No. So then that was just road biking and then that's kind of taken over now. But yeah, kind of back when I was younger, it was loads of mountain biking. And I actually never did crash badly enough to have to stop playing rugby, result. But yeah, I just kind of took the risk and I'd have to argue myself out of it if I got injured. Yeah. I mean, they'd be pissed off. They'd put like possibility of a fine maybe, but I was like, they're not going to tear out my contract.
Yeah, it must be quite difficult as well. It's like your whole life revolves around one thing. Has rugby become, did it ever become a job, did it feel like to you?
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah. When I was playing rugby, I wouldn't watch games I wasn't involved in or that I didn't have to watch to then prepare for the next game. Yeah. I wouldn't just watch England, Ireland for fun.
What do you think that is?
Because I couldn't watch it without being really analytical. It was very hard to just sit down and watch a game of rugby and not get engrossed in it and not start really thinking through and doing all that.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of save that for work. And then do other stuff I enjoyed. And actually I think it's really helped now, because I know a lot of guys struggle when they stop playing rugby, because it was their hobby when they were young, it's become their job, and then they retire and suddenly their job and their hobby's gone, they've got nothing left.
Yeah.
So actually having other stuff has been really helpful.
Yeah.
Now.
That's always the risk, I think. Once that's taken away from you, then what do you do?
And you can't go back and, you can be a pro mountain biker. When you stop being pro, you can go back to running around in the woods with your mates, cycling around the woods.
Yeah.
But you
Rugby's
can't,
not like that, is it really? I guess you can't just
you can't just
go
go.
and play around on your own.
Imagine
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
Sunday
exactly.
league. You'd be pissed off. Wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
It's tough, isn't it?
Oh, Luke's here again. I wish he didn't like rugby anymore. Here he is.
Could you go play football instead?
Did you ever play for England?
So I played 3 games for the England second team.
Okay,
sick. Yeah. So I got close. Went to a few training camps. Never quite happened.
Okay.
Which is sad. Yeah, I'd have loved to have played. Yeah.
Okay.
But then actually, I really enjoyed the second part of my career when I kind of put that aside. I was like, that's not going to happen. And just threw everything into club rugby. Yeah, really enjoyed that as well. So.
All right.
So you moved around a bit.
Yeah.
Which how did that happen after growing up in like a system?
Yeah, so I played 10 years pro for Quins. We got a new coach in. That weirdly, when I joined, everyone was like, oh, he's going to really like you. Like, you're going to get on really well. Like, he loves guys who work hard. You work hard, like, you'll be fine. And then it kind of just didn't work out that way. He didn't want a 7, that's my position, who played the way I played. I was also getting paid a lot of money at this point to not play, like too much to not play. And he was like, look, your contract end of the year, like, we're not going to sign you again. Go off and find somewhere else.
Quite scary.
Yeah, it was, because so this was actually the year after my dislocated hip as well. So although me leaving Quins was nothing to do with that, when I went to other clubs, they were like, you're clearly not fit. Like, that's why you're not playing. So I kind of, struggled to find somewhere. Eventually settled at Leicester. Spent 2 years there. And then the opportunity came to come back. So, came back. I loved it in Leicester, like, really good. But it's not your home club, is it?
No.
So, it's great to come back.
So you did 2 years, you just packed up and left?
Yeah, pretty much.
I find it really strange because obviously not to talk about my brother again, but obviously you know my brother, but he spent all of his life just travelling around, just moving to these different places and just like starting again. I've never done that.
Yeah.
I've been away from home 3 weeks maximum. Must have been well weird after almost growing up in a club.
Yeah, definitely. It was weird. And actually, soon after I got to Leicester, another club that maybe would have suited me a bit better that I wanted to go to before, like they were one I'd really trying to push towards before. They came in and was like, oh, actually, you can come to us now. I think they had an injury maybe, or just found there's a salary cap in rugby, and they suddenly found an extra bit of money they didn't think they had. They're like, yeah, you can come. So that was a big decision. Like, do I move again, or do I actually just buy in here? So I actually bought in and stuck at Leicester.
What makes a successful rugby club? What is it as a player that you're looking for?
Well, to be successful rugby club, it's actually the ongoing like plan for success.
Right.
I think that's where Quins has fallen down in the past. Is like we've won the Premiership and then slowly started a slide. So I think when I won the first time, next year we finished 3rd, next year we finished 4th, 8th, and then suddenly we're like 11th.
Right.
And kind of like just kind of dropped off a cliff. Whereas Leicester, they weren't successful when I was there, but they are the best. They're the most successful club in like historically. And they just love winning.
Okay.
Like everything there, like they don't care about playing nice rugby or attacking rugby. They're there to win. and it kind of like is throughout the whole club, and that was cool to see. To be fair, I've never really seen it before.
So you're like buying into you're signing into a mentality.
Yeah.
Regime is probably not the right word, but like you're buying into.
It kind of is a regime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Harlequins loves, like, they enjoy their rugby.
Yeah.
So it's called True. And I can't remember what it is. I'm going to get told off for this. It's like tempo, relationships, uncompromising enjoyment. So enjoyment is like part of the club's DNA.
Right.
Enjoyment is not part of Leicester Tigers' DNA. I can tell you that for free. Like they're there to work hard and do what it takes to win. Like, and like you do enjoy it when you're there because it attracts those kind of competitive guys that like doing that stuff. Because if you don't, then you leave very quickly. But yeah,
interesting to think that clubs have like like you say, like I don't know, like a personality almost. It's
100%.
That club's like that club's like that.
Well,
from the outside looking, you'd never know that, but
you have to find something to bring all these people together and get everyone to buy into it. And those clubs that don't have that struggle, because you kind of separate off into different cliques. People are pulling in different directions.
Right,
meetings become painful because there's like so many voices wanting to do different stuff. Just like becomes a constant argument. Right. You have to have overarching stuff which kind of pull the team together and keep everyone on the same direction.
Okay.
I guess it can separate. Were there any clubs that were like scary to face?
The big French teams again.
Right. Okay.
How come you end up playing French teams though?
In the European leagues.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that how rugby works? You play your Premiership?
Yeah, Premiership in England, and then it's actually the top 8 now, but it used to be the top 6 go off to like the top European competition.
Right.
So they play England, Italy, Ireland, Wales, Scotland. And then in the lower European competition, they start pulling in like Spain and Russia and different places that are kind of trying to build their rugby.
Okay. So then you go off and play in those countries.
Yeah.
So you've seen some cool places as well then. It's taking you around the world in a way.
Yeah, it has. Actually, weirdly, South Africa in Europe now as well. Don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
So they're on the same time zone as Europe.
Right.
So like South Africa kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere. Either they go to Australia and New Zealand, which is where they used to play.
Yeah.
But obviously that's a massive flight as well. It's not like they're next door.
Yeah.
So then they decided they'd rather come up to us and stay on the same time zone.
Right.
To play. I think it made TV easier because, so it does make sense in some ways. It's also a long way to go. But yeah, so I've been out there for some games. Okay. I've had pre-season over in America a few times. Got to travel around.
I know we're going a little bit forward, but you mentioned going to play in America.
Yes.
So what's American rugby like?
Growing.
Probably a stupid question. Okay. Growing.
Yeah. It's a weird one because they've got all the talent there. They've got so many players. They've got guys that have played college American football, not turned pro. But then do you go play rugby in front of 5,000 people when you've been playing college ball in front of 80,000 people? Like, that's a big decision to make. So I think they are trying to pull people across. But yeah, so it's good. They've got the World Cup there, and I think the next cycle.
Oh, right.
So World Rugby are pumping a load of money and trying to grow rugby there.
Okay.
And
are they like attracting former professionals from the UK?
Yeah.
I'm a bit like think about it like
a bit like Major League Soccer was when it kind of like when David Beckham went across there.
Okay. And like UK ice hockey's like that. Like a lot of the Canadians, Americans from the NHL will kind of retire and then kind of
come across. Yeah.
It's probably the same in basketball, NBA players and stuff.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was American rugby just seems. I was just thinking literally about American rugby. Yeah.
I think it is a bit strange because there's like in the NFL there's 32 teams, so you don't have to travel loads.
Yeah.
Whereas like I think there's 12, maybe 10 or 12 teams in the American League at the moment, and they're spread over. So like big away trips, like when you're not being paid that much. It's kind of
rugby
big.
in California might be quite tough. Like. Boiling hot.
Well, so like there's actually a team there used to be a team in Toronto, so freezing the whole time. Yeah. And then there's a team in Miami, team in LA, like Yeah, there's a lot of different environments you've got to play in there.
I was thinking about the difference in sport. That's what I was daydreaming, trying to imagine what would be a benefit, what would be like.
There's a lot of UK rugby players going to play NFL now. Well, I say a lot.
There's a few people trying to go do it.
Yeah,
It's always interesting to see if they make it.
yeah. There's been a few
Been a few,
recently
yeah.
that I can think
Big
of.
dogs or
I don't know
Like
as far as
famous
size
ones.
go. There's been a few famous
Yeah,
rugby ones. I can't
Yeah,
think of
yeah.
the names.
not the biggest
Well, so I just
superstars.
gone to the Chiefs. I can't remember his
Yeah.
name. Zimat? Something?
Reece Summit.
That's it.
Yeah, so he's gone Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to play like slot receiver, wide receiver.
Okay.
He's rapid. He's really quick.
What position would he play in rugby?
So he's a wing in rugby.
Right. Okay.
So similar skill sets.
To what you do.
No. So
so
to
to
a
that.
wide receiver, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So he's gone across there. There's a guy called Christian Wade
Mm.
who went over. So I think he's the top try scorer in the Premiership. Maybe I'm lying about that. He's a very high try scorer in the Premiership, and he went across, played running back for the Buffalo Bills. I don't think he ever got. He like played some preseason games, never got a start in
Right.
the big show.
Right.
But now he's back playing. He went straight to Paris, played for a big team there,
Okay.
and now he's back in England playing. I think he's taking Reece Sammett's job at
really?
Gloucester. Yeah, so they're kind of doing a little swap.
Huh.
But yeah, it would be cool if someone like actually managed to
Are
make
you
it
an NFL
stick.
fan?
I'm actually an ice hockey fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pack holes.
Oh, you really? There you go.
Yeah. I do like watching NFL as well.
Yeah. Same. I'm a bit of an NFL fan. It's quite a recent thing. Probably the last 4 years. Really, I've just like really sunk into it.
It's weird. So I used to be a New Orleans Saints fan and like would watch them a lot.
Yeah.
And then I started playing fantasy football.
Yeah.
And now I'm just more interested in like what my fantasy guys are doing. Like, I don't actually watch anything. I'm just like sat on the app going, oh, he scored a touchdown. He's run some yards.
Just the numbers of it rather than the actual thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, I'm the other way. I tried playing fantasy, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't work the app out. Gave up. It was too hard. Way too
I don't know.
difficult.
We've got a league with a bunch of the old rugby guys actually. So that's quite nice. We set it up as a Quins league like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now I think I might have been the last one at Quins.
Okay.
Like, so I was playing and then there's people like all over the world playing it.
Oh,
It's quite cool kind of. Yeah.
It is
Way
clever.
to keep
That
in
NFL
contact.
app, the official one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
clever as hell, isn't it?
Yeah,
You can do
yeah.
a draft and stuff on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's so clever.
So like we all meet up on Zoom and like draft. And
Oh, that's
crazy.
cool, man. That is cool. There's something about it for me. Like I find it really relaxing watching NFL. And to be honest, like with rugby, if there's a choice of watching any UK or whatever sport, I will watch the rugby because it is actually fun to watch. Like
There's a lot of action, I think.
exactly
With
like
football-
I've never.
I think if you're not engrossed in like the team aspect of football, like there can be a lot of like 0-0, 1-1 games.
Yeah.
Kind of where not much is happening.
Yeah,
I guess makes it tense, but yeah, there's not the constant action.
a friend of
that's
mine
not
once
coming
said
from football
years
fans.
ago, it's with any sport, it's just you get out what you put in. And
Yeah.
when you do put more in, it's so much more enjoyable. If you
Yeah.
actually understand the team, you understand the personalities, it's way better.
Yeah, it's weird. Because when I say I find football boring, people go, "Yeah, but you watch the Tour de France." I'm like, "Well, yeah, I know, but I'll
That's
happily
the
watch.
ultimate, isn't it?
I'll
That's-
happily watch a full stage of that, like 6 hours in the mountains, loving every minute of it." And people are going, "What are you doing?" But yeah, oh well.
So you've now reached what you would consider a natural
Pause. Yeah.
a pause.
Stop. Yeah. No. Yeah.
You said pause now.
Pause. No. I'm done. I am done.
I spoke to you before about it. You seem pretty like
No. Yeah. I've thrown myself into a few other sports and really enjoying it. So yeah, I was saying to you before, like when I retired, I had a plan to start track cycling on the velodrome, and I wanted to compete in that because it kind of just really fit my physical skill set, I think.
put out some watts. I imagine you're putting out some
Yeah,
watts.
maybe put out some ones.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, it was always like we do max power tests in rugby on
Do
the
you?
on the
Oh,
on the
I wanna
watt
hit-
bikes.
Can I ask? Is it too annoying to ask the
No, you
numbers?
cannot. So-
do you know any like? What's the most super freak crazy athlete you've kind of witnessed? And you can include yourself
No,
into
yeah,
that
no.
if the numbers are there.
So when I was a bit younger,
Yeah.
I think I hit just over 2,300 on the watt bike. I'm not quite up there anymore. I'm more like 2,1, 2,2.
That is so mental.
I don't know the watts on a watt bike, I'll be honest, but I know it'll be like astronomical. You know?
I feel like I reckon you'll do half.
If that.
But that's crazy.
Yeah.
Just 2 humans, like even like really good riders that are really powerful and good. Absolutely, we'll do half of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's a weird thing. It's weird though. Like,
Do you sustain it as well?
so my best over 30 seconds is just over 1200.
Right.
But it's weird. I've noticed. I've noticed as my like FTP goes up, my peak power comes down, and the other way around. It does. It does flip flop like that.
Yeah.
But
are you
yeah,
doing FTP tests and stuff?
I've got no interest in that.
Regularly?
Not a chance. No.
I did one the other day. I nearly died.
Oh,
It's
mate.
awful.
What's that test?
Functional threshold performance. Actually, Luke, maybe you can.
Yeah.
Probably more.
So it's going to be the wattage you can hold for an hour,
Right.
but you don't have to do it as an hour. So the normal test is 20 minutes,
Okay.
as high as you can, and I think it's 95% of that, isn't it? Something
Which
like
I
that.
actually don't think is accurate.
So it's
But
no, and like so because you can ramp test as well. I don't know if you know one of them. Rugby players it's not a good test for rugby players. It's just the way we're built, because we can suddenly like sprint the last bit and just like tick it up loads. So we did a bit of training. Like we did our FTP test on the ramp test to set like our training zones for just basic fitness levels.
yeah,
And no one could do any of it because we all like cheat the ramp test.
because you can just put out.
Because we
crazy
can
watts
just
for
put
sure.
crazy watts for short period, and then we'd try and do the intervals, and just everyone was dying. Going back, I was meant to do that on the track, and then obviously started jiu-jitsu as well, and that was just for fun, and it's kind of swapped. So now I'm competing at jiu-jitsu, and the track's more for fun. But yeah,
Jiu-Jitsu. So
Jiu-Jitsu.
Jiu-Jitsu's taken your.
it's taken my life.
How come?
Has
How
it?
did you find it?
It was another. So
Joe
I
Rogan.
mean, I picked. I picked both these sports, so I thought I'd be quite good at them. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah. They were both like.
They weren't picked out of a hat.
No, they were both. I think I was like, I've got skill sets that could suit both these things. I don't know. Just got down there and loved it, and it's kind of like really addictive. You
Everyone says that.
yeah, I did. Yeah, it's
Everyone
hard
says
to
the same
imagine, but
thing.
you go get your head kicked in for 90 minutes, and then you get home and you're like searching YouTube trying to find out like how could you have done this better, what could you have done, and
It's really taken my brother.
That's it.
Like he's just obsessed, and like I'm like I have to be like, dude, I don't understand what you're talking about. Like I can't interact with the same passion. You're talking about a Kimura triangle, this and that, and you're like, I don't know what any of it means. I don't.
To be fair, I'm bad at that as well, because so down in Guildford, where me and your brother both train, everything's kind of game based. They kind of show you a bit what to do, and then they just go fight, teach yourself kind of thing, because they think that's the best way to learn. But it means there's not a coach going, right, this is a Kimura, this is how you do it, this is some random Japanese name, this is how you do it.
Got you.
So people like other gym guys from other gyms try and talk to me about stuff. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like you can show me, I probably will, but not got a clue.
Hey, if you hang around, Luke's going to put Ollie in a heel hook after the break.
Oh no!
He knows.
No.
He knows.
And welcome to the ad break.
Oh, the best place to be.
It is, and this one's good as well.
It's one of my favourites.
It is. Are you ready to start? You can start.
I'll start it. Okay, mate. But I'm gonna throw it back to you because you've started riding again, right? And you're riding a lot. It's almost impossible to get hold of you because all you're doing is out there pedaling the bike. Okay.
Yeah.
Which means you're gonna be recovering as best as possible.
It's the key.
And stacking gains.
I want to be.
Okay. All right. Well, the companionship bundle by Peak SUPPS is the ultimate all-in-one solution for your pre, intra, and post-ride needs.
Dude, that's right. We developed this bundle in collaboration with the wizards at Peak SUPPS to make supplementing as simple as possible. This bundle includes 5 specifically selected supplements plus some extra goodies. And we did actually work with Peak SUPPS on selecting these, didn't we?
And I think we nailed it.
I think we did. They've got so many, it was quite so many products.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
quite
True.
difficult. But I think we have actually narrowed it down to a mountain bike specific bundle.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a quick look at the bundle,
Mate,
see
let's
what's
do it,
in
yeah.
it and
Let's
how
do
to
it.
use it, okay?
Yeah.
First up, start your ride off right with our go-to pre-ride drink.
Nice.
Activate pre-workout. Okay, it's available in 3 delicious flavors. This powerhouse formula is designed to enhance athletic performance and mental alertness.
Nice, dude. So
Okay.
mid-ride, you want to replenish your energy stores with our intra-ride drink essentials. That's quite a handful, that is.
Yeah.
Tricarb powder and electrolyte, multivitamin effervescent tablets.
Well done. You got through that one really well.
I did, and they're on the table.
Yes.
So these are packed with carbohydrates and essential vitamins, and they'll keep you going strong mile after mile, lap after lap, jump after jump. And there won't be a bonk in sight.
Not
Maybe
a
a
bonk in
nose
sight.
bonk when you're jumping, right?
Yes,
Brought it
mate.
back.
Well done.
Hey.
And after you finish your ride, treat your muscles to a dose of grass-fed whey protein,
That's the stuff.
regarded as one of the highest quality protein powders on the market and available in delicious flavors. Ollie, what's your favorite protein flavor?
There are actually so many flavors.
There are.
But I like to keep things quite simple, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'll just go with the chocolate.
Chocolate's good. Chocolate's up there for me. They actually just sent some samples, which I tried. And the new salted caramel, so good. But not just see, this is the thing, you can use this in a few different ways, especially with your whey protein. So yeah, you can have it in a shaker, standard.
Yeah.
Or maybe you can put it in some porridge.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
use it
yeah.
in a variety of different ways, okay?
That flavour's trending, dude. Salted caramel is trending.
And you can
Peak
add it
Sups
to
are
the bundle.
right there. They're
Yep.
right there.
Yep.
They got their finger on the pulse, haven't they?
They have.
Right, well, that's not all as well. The companionship bundle... That's not all. The companionship bundle also includes a 600 milliliter protein shaker for easy mixing and our exclusive Ride Companion sticker sheet to add some style to your gear. Or your bike, whatever, yeah.
Mate, you can get all of this with free UK shipping included, and there's more. More.
There can't be more. We're going to have to get another table.
No, there's more. You can get 10% off with the code The Ride Companion, and that's not just 10% off the bundle, 10% off the entire site, mate. And they've got so much stuff.
Got a lot.
Yeah, you can
found
use this as
raisins.
a base.
I found raisins on the site the other day.
There's chia seeds. I bought those off the site the other
Chia
day.
seeds on
Yeah.
the site. There's literally everything you can need.
Almost everything you
Yeah.
can need. Yeah.
So, what was the code again? What was it again?
Sorry, mate. It's The Ride Companion
Okay.
at peaksups.co.uk.
10% off is really reasonable, isn't it?
Mate, are we living the dream or what?
Get amongst it, companionship. Thanks, Peak Sups.
Back to the episode. Mate, I can't believe we didn't get it on camera. He's good.
Good.
He's good.
Straight in there, wasn't it? He tapped
Quick enough, I didn't know it was happening.
tapped straight away.
He taps fast, doesn't he?
I just tap it on a regular basis. I
Well,
hang
yeah.
out with Deeks enough that he just...
That's it.
I forgot we were recording.
Oh dear. I've got some really...
God, you haven't you?
I got
You've
some
prepped.
good rugby questions.
God.
Have you actually? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, can we do a couple of my rugby questions?
Go for it.
Because I really want to tick them off. All right.
for it.
So here we go.
It's gonna be nice if I don't know the answers to any of these now.
Yeah, maybe. Who's been your wildest teammate and why?
So Joe Marler's the obvious one.
Joe Marler.
And he's the one that people might know.
Yeah.
Don't
I know the name.
You know the name?
Yeah.
Do you know the name?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's an odd kid.
Okay.
Also a lovely kid, but yeah, he's a good lad. But yeah, he is himself and just owns it.
Really?
So he's wild in what way?
He's a total enigma. You can't
Really?
describe him. I don't know. Yeah, what you see on TV and podcasts is exactly what you get,
Right.
and like, yeah, he's a very bizarre bloke.
I don't know if it's like, obviously some stuff's covered up here of what people get up to, professional players and stuff, but I spent a bit of time in Australia.
Okay.
And over there, it was like, it seemed to be way more accepted that the rugby guys were just loose as fuck all the time. And they'd
Yeah.
be on the news. Like, I remember there was one thing with, I was in Cronulla Sharks. Remember them? Like, and it'd just be on the news, like, oh yeah, Cronulla Sharks went out last night, stole some golf carts, drove them down the highway. It's like, it was just like a thing that was just more
I think
accepted.
you're right.
Yeah.
I think over here, especially being in London, like, there's no like there's no protection, that kind of thing. Like we're not that big a deal. Like if we muck around somewhere, like we'll get kicked out.
Just gonna get
like
normal treatment.
Yeah. Whereas I think in maybe some of the smaller towns you can kind of get away with a bit more, I think. But yeah, I think you're right though. In Australia, it's kind of it's definitely more accepted.
Yeah.
And over here, like rugby still has a bad name for that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Really?
But mainly like lower league clubs and universities are terrible,
Right.
in terms of like drinking initiations and stuff like that. But yeah, rugby proper clubs are kind of pretty tame at the moment. I think. Yeah.
Interesting. What's the worst injury? It's quick fire. I'm so sorry. It's not. They're not. It shouldn't be. What's the worst injury you've played through?
I was telling you all about this earlier as well, actually. So I broke my finger, which doesn't sound that bad, but I thought it was dislocated. So I tried to pop it back in. So I gave it a good yank and a twist, tried to pop it back in, and kind of just twisted the whole thing round. And so when I bent my finger, it was kind of bending over this way instead.
Jeez.
And they kind of just strapped it together to the next one and were like, play as long as you can. I probably played like 20 more minutes, and I was like, look, I'm done. I need to come off.
This isn't that good.
Yeah,
Turns out
I was like, this isn't good. And yeah, so then I came off, X-ray, it was broken. We knew that anyway.
Yeah.
Operation next week, and then But
how long does that take to get back?
6 weeks, something.
Yeah.
5 weeks, 6 weeks. Bones are easy.
Yeah.
Once they're fixed, they're fixed. I think. Yeah.
True. I had a sort of a friend really who played, I guess, semi-professional rugby in Sheffield. Can't remember the name of the Tigers, I think it is. Anyway,
Not a clue.
but I remember talking to him, and he was talking once about like some of the stuff that goes on like on the field, maybe that you wouldn't normally see, maybe little grabs here, pinches there, fingers going places they shouldn't. So what's something that like happens on the pitch?
Honestly, now not much.
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
I
I'm not
do,
making
but
this up, am I?
There's so many cameras around now.
Yeah.
That there's nothing. Like I remember when I used to watch rugby, like people getting out eye gouged the whole time, stuff like that. But yeah, it doesn't happen.
Right.
Is there much trash talk? People talk smack at each other.
Sometimes, not massively.
Quite gentlemanly otherwise.
Yeah.
I was
Is it
thinking,
actually? Yeah.
like a pinch, or a pinch is horrible, isn't it? If you're in a scrum,
Pinchings don't happen. I don't know.
a pinch, like on the inside of your thigh and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be horrible, but
horrible.
we're not that pathetic, I don't think. I'd like to think we're not that pathetic, no. Little pinch. Mental.
Oh dear.
I like that. What other ones have you got on your
I can
quick
see
fire?
from-
I like the quick fire. I think
okay.
you've
All
done
right.
good here. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just say it as I've written it. You've had a long association with the Harlequins. What does the club mean to you, and how has it shaped your career?
Wow, okay.
That's a lovely question, honestly.
Thank you.
God.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, as you said, was there for a long time. But I think probably like 16 years in total, maybe, from when I was younger. Yeah, that's about right. So yeah, it means so much. Like when I first left, there was kind of it was a big battle to find another club. So it's kind of like, will I have to retire here? Like, is it a good decision to just call it a day, retire then? And I would have hated to have retired back then. So getting to come back and play for them again was amazing. Like, so good.
You get a big welcome when you came back as well, fans and stuff.
Yeah. Fans are great. It helps that I'm quite recognisable, I think. So yeah, the fans all know me.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, coming home was so good. And yeah, I think it'll be a club I'm involved with forever now, I think, in terms of going to watch, just like keeping in contact with the players. Yeah.
Do you have like almost like, what do you call it, like VIP status? If you go to the stadium, you can just go in, watch any game. Is it like that?
At the moment, maybe. I'm not sure about next year.
Not after this podcast's gone out.
Though yeah, just maybe send a text to the right person, get a ticket. Yeah, but yeah.
Cool.
I think it's really cool, like the family aspect
Yeah.
of team sports. Like it's same
Like
in
that
a
with
lot
your
of
brother,
sports.
isn't it? Like,
yeah,
you just
exactly.
go and hang
like,
out.
It's just, I think it's really nice, and also like literally the program that you came from. I guess there's, as players, you sort of remain involved with that a bit, like the juniors and the development squad and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have similar player appearances to, I guess, you guys with sponsorship appearances. Let's get sent off down to coach the young lads for a bit.
Mate, I was interested in that because you got a lot of sponsors on your jersey, and a lot of like team sports don't necessarily like make the most of their athletes. You know, certainly as a bike rider, you're just like it's expected of you the whole time.
Oh no,
So that's your
definitely. I
primary
think
job.
they kind of pick and choose a lot more. I think send you to the big events they want you at.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, then that tends to be the big players as well. There is a little middle ground. So when you're young, you get sent to all the rubbish ones. Like, I don't know, turning on the Christmas lights at some random village in Sussex or something like that. You get sent off to that. And then when you're like a big time player, you get sent off to all the massive like premier sponsor events. And then when in the middle, there's a little bit where you don't have to do anything, which is ideal. But no, we've had some good ones as well. Like we were sponsored by Etihad Airways for a bit.
Oh man,
which is amazing. So again, coming back to the first time we're in the Prem final, they flew us out to Abu Dhabi for the week for a training camp the week before the final. So that was cool. And you just had to, I think we had to go to like one event and meet some people. That was it. Yeah. So yeah, you get some cool perks of sponsors as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like, obviously you've got ticket sales. Like if you compare it to, I don't know, probably downhill is what we all know.
Yeah, the high,
lots.
Yeah.
And like if you compare it to that, there's not that kind of stadium ticket price, and because of that, it puts a lot more emphasis on the sponsors. I feel like the sponsorship aspect is super important. Whereas I think when you're not relying as much on the sponsors, you've got all those ticket sales.
I think the sponsors still is a massive part. Yeah,
okay.
Still a massive part. But they're sponsoring the team. They're not sponsoring the individual. And like as a player, you don't have to go find your own sponsors. Where I know like a lot of that. So it's not your face attached to it. It's the team attached to it. A lot.
Yeah, there's like a degree of separation almost, isn't there? You're not like.
Do you have personal sponsors, or have you had like outside of what's on the shirt?
Yeah, Adidas for a bit.
Right. Small ones.
Small ones. Well, I mean, yeah, big spot, but it wasn't a big sponsorship. It was a big sponsor. But it wasn't a big sponsorship. Okay. Some people do, yeah, for sure.
Like endorsement. It's always.
I think there's a few Red Bull.
Is there?
Athletes now, yeah.
No way.
In rugby, they wear Red Bull on their scrum hat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Jack Knowles one.
Yeah, I remember seeing like they had a few cricket players and stuff for a while.
Yeah. I don't know what they do.
It was like the Red Bull logo on a cricket bat.
On a cricket bat,
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I thought they could put it on the wicket. You could have 2 little Red Bulls.
2 bolts. Nice.
Hey, shout.
Not bad.
Not bad.
That's a good one, actually.
A really good one.
That's why you're good at marketing, isn't it? There you go. And that's why you get paid the big bucks.
Oh dear.
That's actually a great shout.
Yeah, he's so good.
Amazing.
Yeah. I bet someone's listening to this like, fuck. Why did we ever do that before? So, back to the phone. What advice do you give, or could you give, to young athletes now that, like, especially what we were talking about before about maybe like transition out of the game? Like, do you mentor players? Do you still do that stuff?
Not really, but the one bit of advice I always say is don't focus too early. I think there's as things become more professional and like academies start younger, there's such a pressure to just play rugby from age 10 or something.
Yeah.
And like, don't do everything. Like, I've got so much from cycling, surfing in terms of just fitness and then balance and like just athleticism, surfing, like hand-eye coordination from hockey, just all that kind of stuff like builds you together into an athlete. Whereas if you just on one path, I don't think you get as well-rounded.
Yeah. So that would be your advice, just to mix it up a little bit, do other stuff.
Yeah, for as long as possible. Like, you should be playing loads of. You don't have to specialise till you're an adult, I don't think, and even then, keep on doing other stuff.
Well, there's always that problem, isn't there, of like burnout. You see it in loads of young people coming through doing different things.
Yeah, especially if you're playing like organised rugby. I imagine it's like a lot of hard work versus the amount of actual like enjoyable rugby playing time that.
Definitely. Like now, I miss the games for sure. But yeah, I don't particularly miss the training because
Yeah.
it's not as enjoyable. You know, you're there for the weekends.
Yeah.
Not for the week so much.
I guess the training sort of has a purpose as well, doesn't it? Like training without that kind of goal.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like at the end of the season, it's always like, wow, yeah, I'm done. Get a nice little break, and then within 3 weeks, like, right, let's get back to it. I need to because the next season's on the horizon. Like you're buzzing to get started again.
Yeah.
How long's the season?
All year pretty much.
Is it?
No, September to mid-May.
Right. Okay.
Actually, it's still going, so I'm lying. It's now early June,
Oh, yeah,
probably. Yeah. It used to be mid-May. It's
Right.
kind of just drawn out and out
It
and
feels
out.
like winter outside, that's for sure. So
It does, doesn't it?
keep rolling.
Yeah.
I got a relatively dumb question. You don't have to answer it if you don't want, but why not? It's the sort of game we're playing today. You obviously retire. Might be
Retired.
retiring.
No, yeah, I'm done.
Okay, retired.
We can say I'm done. That's
Have
fine.
you, are you actually retiring from having a job? Like, have you
No,
made
no,
enough money
absolutely
through
not.
your career?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
Unfortunately not. No. So yeah, I'm kind of looking.
It's kind of, sorry to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but you compare it to Premiership football.
Yeah. Oh no, it's nothing. I think there are a few that, England players pretty much earn more from one Six Nations than the rest of the league does in the whole year.
Right.
So like if you're playing England, you're kind of doubling, tripling your money probably every
Right.
year.
Yeah.
So those guys, if they are clever with it, I think there are a few that can kind of go off to other stuff, especially if they've got an image as well that they can kind of use afterwards.
Yeah.
But no, the majority of us have to go get normal jobs.
Okay.
I mean, how much money do you need to fully retire from a sports career?
Depends how you live, doesn't it? Depends where you live. Live in Leicester, not a lot.
But if someone gave you an amount that you thought off the top of your head,
I think the big thing is just having paid off your mortgage.
Yeah.
If you've done that, actually you don't need that much.
yeah,
I
yeah, I
guess.
think yeah, that's it, isn't it?
I had a conversation with someone the other day who we had this exact conversation about retiring, and he was like, I just need to make or have 4 million. And I was like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
That'd be nice, and
That was his goal, 4 million.
4
like,
million.
get to 4, and then it's done.
is that so? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is after. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've never really thought about when someone says, you take it for granted. Like someone said, if you win a stage of the Tour de France, there was like this. People used to say, if you win a stage of the Tour de France, you
You're done.
basically can retire.
Yeah.
Like, you make enough money that you can retire. That was what I don't know if it's true. I don't know if there's any truth to it whatsoever. But like, I remember someone saying that. But I've never thought about what that actually means.
Yeah.
Like,
It's all relative, isn't it? To like
Yeah,
how
I think
you
it's all
live and
And I think that probably relates to the image. Like, you win a stage of the Tour de France, suddenly you're recognisable. You can keep on using that for like after and speaking, whatever, like
yeah.
TV appearances. Just keep that money trickling in, probably. If you need it, I don't know.
No, it's a funny thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what does life look like now?
Right now, I'm pretty much training like a professional athlete without getting paid. So that's funny. So actually, Quins have been good. So one of our sponsors is Charles Stanley, who's a asset manager, asset manager.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing some work experience there, seeing if I would want a really boring job.
Really?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. And that's
Amongst all this, I've got a maths degree as well.
a maths.
A maths degree, yeah.
Have you really?
So I'm looking at some city jobs. I'm also looking at some kind of engineering jobs in either cycling or motorsport, something like that.
Wow.
Some like aero stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, just
What's
try.
the dream job?
Aero would be, I think.
Is it? Yeah.
But
like
yeah.
some sort of like Formula One-y sort of.
Yeah. But it's a lot harder to get into, I think. Obviously, so much competition for a few spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got to wait. It's annoying that the Olympic cycles now with Paris this summer. Because I tried to get into British cycling for a bit of work experience and stuff, and they're like, "Go away, come back next year." I was like, "Yeah, okay, fine." So we'll see.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it's Olympic year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, at the moment, just trying anything and everything, seeing what sticks, seeing what I like.
Okay.
Not really in any rush. I've got the cash to just chill out for the time being.
That's cool, man.
But yeah,
Well
see.
earned cash, I think, by the sounds of it as well.
Yeah, I don't want to make light. Like, it's such a huge achievement to have a career in a sport as competitive as rugby. It's really amazing. Like, well done. Round of applause.
It's weird.
Think it's,
Yeah.
wow, it's rad, isn't it?
Why have you retired?
So one of the things I wanted to do was stop before my body was like, no, you've got to stop.
Right.
I don't want to get to a point where I can't go cycling or I can't do stuff I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So that was one, and then it was just also just getting harder and harder to get contracts at the end of the day.
Right.
It's we can go. So
Please.
So in rugby there's a salary cap.
Yeah.
So everyone in the squad has to come under that salary cap. But unlike in basketball, there's a maximum contract and a minimum contract. In rugby, it's not. It's a free for all. So basically, like the teams where it used to be kind of an even spread across age groups and stuff, now you can be old and paid exceptionally well, or young paid nothing, pretty much. So like there used to be a tier below that, like England player, which kind of isn't there anymore, because it's just not worth that. It's not worth paying them that when you could just be paying 3 young guys and hope one of them were good instead. So kind of that middle tier has been pulled out, and kind of that's where I was. So it was just kind of getting, every year it was a bit harder.
Right.
So I was like, nah.
Is it normally like a yearly contract that you'd sign, or would it be multiples?
Like between 1 and 3.
Right.
So it used to be 3, and then it was 2, and then it was 1. I was like, yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
So physically, you were worried about what was it that was making you worried you weren't gonna,
Oh, just the chance of an injury. I
really?
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it goes up a lot as you get older.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, I've been pretty lucky in terms of like knees are the ones that normally go. They're the big ones, and they've been good. My back has been bad at times. My hips obviously been bad, but like, yeah, at the moment I'm probably feeling the fittest I've been in ages, which is quite nice. And yeah, so I think it's been a good time to get out.
Nice.
Wicked.
Yeah. It's so
Well,
interesting.
congrats.
Thanks, mate.
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's amazing. Yeah. We were talking about it. Like, obviously, you've lived around this way all your life, and it's just.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool when you kind of realise there's people doing things like you have.
Different stuff, yeah.
Like, you don't see it day to day, do you? And then,
It's true.
yeah, it's going on. There's interesting people doing interesting jobs all over the place. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to what you're saying about having quite a lot of pro mountain bikers around here.
Yeah.
If you spoke to, like when I say like Brendan lives around the corner, they're like, what? Oh, how's that happened? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a bit weird, but yeah, it's people just don't know.
Yeah.
And actually they are all around.
Yeah.
There you go.
There seems to be a lot down here.
Weird, eh?
Yeah. A lot more. Is there a lot of rugby players live around this area as well, or do people?
Yeah, well, yeah, people live where the teams are, to be fair.
Right. Okay.
It tends to be more southwest. There's teams in Newcastle and Manchester, but that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's one in Sheffield anymore, is there? There used to
It'll be rugby league in Sheffield.
okay.
Different.
Right.
So now you're focusing on your jiu-jitsu, are you more or less likely to go out riding a mountain bike with me?
I'll have to borrow a bike, but I'm there.
Oh,
No mountain bike at the moment.
Low mountains, yeah, I said earlier. No, tough.
He's all in. He's
I'm all in on the
the
track. Honestly, that is the most expensive sport ever.
Is
It's
it?
crazy. Yeah. I was trying to think of the most expensive components that I could think of. So like the tri-spoke wheels, like a front wheel is like $2,500. Like a handlebar is like £800.
I did not.
What is it
realise
that's like
Handlebar.
getting you so fired up for the track? What is it? What are the components that make you
What is it? See the
What
joke he
is
did
it?
there.
very good?
Clever.
Yeah.
I think it's just there's something about just like being just like man and machine against the clock or against someone else, which is
Right.
like it's just so there's no hiding, is there? It's like literally you've got to train,
Yeah.
and the work you put in kind of comes out the other end. So yeah, doing some like match sprint stuff on that. So that's the one where it's like you versus one other person.
Right, you start opposite sides.
No, you start like together, and it's kind of like the cat and mouse where you go really slow and then suddenly you sprint off.
Okay.
That one.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it is fun as well.
Okay.
It's fun going fast.
Where's the
is
local
fun.
velodrome?
Unfortunately, the Olympic Park.
Manchester.
But like
Manchester.
No, it's Stratford.
Oh right.
North
Is there one in
London.
Reading?
Nah,
No, okay, I'm making it up.
Nah.
There's one in Reading.
There's not many.
there's not many.
No, for it to be an Olympic sport, there's very few.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't
It's
it?
like London, Manchester, Derby,
Oh yeah, Dart.
Cardiff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Newport.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not many.
No, participation-wise, it's
Not-
quite
yeah.
low, but
Niche. It is very niche.
but it is undeniable when you watch it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
And
cool.
it's kind of undeniable, I think, when you ever do anything, even just road cycling. Like you can't. It's inescapable when someone's beating you.
Yeah. Also, I like how simple track bikes are as well.
Yeah,
They're very
Just-
pretty.
Yeah, they are pretty, aren't
They're
they?
very pretty.
yeah.
Just like one gear. Yeah, really stiff.
What was
Just
they are pretty, with the exception of the Flying Scotsman. Have you seen that bike? Have you not seen it?
No.
Have you seen it? I hope I'm not making it
It's
up.
a train.
It was like a wild.
Is it one of the ones
wildest
that got
shape.
banned? That
Yes,
like,
it is, yeah.
Yeah. I would have
It looks
seen it.
awful,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Really?
It looks awful.
They look
yeah.
great now.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Fantastic.
I'm pretty sure it's called the Flying Scotsman.
Mm.
Hope I didn't get it wrong.
No, yeah. So now it's just track on the road a bit, and then I've been debating whether to buy a mountain bike as well, but I haven't got around to it yet.
Well, I think after doing this podcast, you
Gonna
probably
have
should.
to.
Yeah,
Let's
there
get
needs to be
loose on the
some
mountain bike.
follow-up
Yeah.
content.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe an e-bike, then it could be like active recovery from your jiu-jitsu training. I don't know.
Yeah, true. I've never actually been e-biking, so that'd
Mate,
be.
Game changer.
I think you like it.
Yeah.
So Sam Sharksmith's actually engineer at White, so he does help me out a bit when I want them.
Nice.
But yeah, that's a good contact to have for sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks ever so much for coming on.
This has been
Cheers, man.
Yeah,
Cheers, guys.
fascinating.
It has, yeah. I'm sorry if we
I'm
gave
glad,
you like...
I'm glad it has. Hope you're not just saying that. But
No,
yeah.
honestly, it's so cool to just have someone on that's not our normal guest. Does that
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Like, it really is cool. To
Yeah.
actually have done a bit of research was really cool as well. I right, enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, I hope we didn't ask too many stupid questions, but I find it interesting learning as
All
well.
good.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm quite aware we didn't speak much about cycling, but yeah,
No,
all
we-
good.
No, you
All
don't
good.
have to. They're sick- anyone listening is sick of cycling now, aren't they?
Yeah, fair
Us two
enough.
rabbiting on about it. Wicked. Where
Yeah.
can people find you? If you want people to
Oh,
find you.
God. Lukey,
If not,
Lukey_Wallace on everything, pretty
There you
much.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy days.
wicked.
Rad.
Thanks, dude.
Cheers, guys.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
mate.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You say it.
Peace and love.
Like and subscribe. Mate, what an episode.
Brilliant. I thought you were really great, Davey.
Mate, and I thought you were even better.
Thanks, dude.
Better
Thanks,
than
dude.
normal.
Oh, cheers.
Hey, how about we tell our lovely podcast community to hit subscribe here,
Yeah,
click on the video on Ollie's face,
that's right.
click on the video on my face,
Yeah.
and follow us at The Ride Companion on Instagram.
They can like and comment as well.
Please do.
I'm going to try and get this energy and I'm going to bring it into next week.
Let's fast forward to next week's episode.
Done.